the magic word. Here in the secret kindergarten, the world's best show for kids is starting. The Secret Kindergarten Radio Show. Use your ears and your imagination. We're going to play, we're having fun. The Magic Secret Kindergarten on the Revolution Radio Station. Hello and welcome back to the Secret Kindergarten Radio Show. I'm your host, Gino. And today, down here in New Zealand, did you know it's Sunday, the 4th of February. And today's daily word of wisdom, thanks to Manly P. Hall, is this. Your life in this world is only possible because of the teamwork of so many people you may never meet. They are all part of a team, and you too belong to that team. That's a true story. How hard is that to remember? Especially as a grown-up. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Right. We are doing an activity right now. Okay, this is called Not a Box. Okay, and I'm going to be reading a story called Not a Box. And guess what? I'm just going to ask you some questions. That's all I'm going to do. And this story, called Not a Box, by Antoinette Portis. Do you know what? It is literally just a bunny in a box. A little rabbit in a box. That's it. So, picture in your mind, you looking at a little rabbit in a box. That's it. Right, here we go. And this is for all the children everywhere out there sitting in cardboard boxes. Okay, so the rabbit's sitting in the box. Why are you sitting in a box? Now, in this story, who do you think is asking that question? Who do you think's asking the rabbit? Is it just me? Okay, let's see what the rabbit says. It's not a box. Oh. Hey, let me ask you, do you think if it's not a box, what do you think it is? You tell me. I think it might be his house. What do you think? Okay, let's go to the next page. What are you doing on top of that box? It's not a box. What do you think the rabbit's doing on top of that box? Do you think he's hopping? I think he's hopping because bunnies like to hop, right? What do you reckon? Why are you squirting a box? I said it's not a box. So what's he squirting with? What the heck is that? Well, I'll tell you, I had to squirt a spray bottle onto the mess that Mimi, my cat, made all over the floor with her breakfast. She had a chicken neck for breakfast. And I had to squirt disinfectant on the floor. What do you think the rabbit is squirting? What do you think he's using? Okay, let's go to the next page. Now, you're wearing a box? This is not a box. So this rabbit is adamant that it's not a box. What do you think he looks like when he wears a box? Imagine a rabbit wearing a box. What? That would look crazy. Okay, let's go to the next page. Are you still standing around in that box? It's not a box. Oh my goodness, this rabbit is going crazy. Well, what is it then? Okay. Tell me, what do you think out there? If you had a box, what would it be to you? I'll give you 10 seconds there. Okay. Well, let's hear what the rabbit has to say. When the person asked, "What is it then?" the rabbit says, "It's my not a box." What a punchline! It's the rabbit's not a box. And that's that. Well, we're now going to play. Yes, we're going to play an audiobook. Here we go. This story is called Lazy Jack.
English Fairy Tales by Ernest Rhys. Lazy Jack. A story without a moral. Once upon a time there was a boy whose name was Jack, and he lived with his mother on a dreary common. They were very poor, and the old woman got her living by spinning, but Jack was so lazy that he would do nothing but bask in the sun in the hot weather, and sit by the corner of the hearth in the winter time. His mother could not persuade him to do anything for her, and was obliged at last to tell him that if he did not begin to work for his porridge, she would turn him out to get his living as he could. This threat at length roused Jack, and he went out and hired himself for the day to a farmer for a penny. But as he was coming home, never having had any money before, he lost it in passing over a brook. "You stupid boy," said his mother. "You should have put it in your pocket." "I'll do so another time," replied Jack. The next day Jack went out again, and hired himself to a cowkeeper, who gave him a jar of milk for his day's work. Jack took the jar and put it into the large pocket of his jacket, spilling it all long before he could get home. "Dear me," said the old woman, "you should have carried it on your head." "I'll do so another time," replied Jack. The following day Jack hired himself again to a farmer, who agreed to give him a cream cheese for his services. In the evening Jack took the cheese and went home with it on his head. By the time he got home the cheese was completely spoilt, part of it being lost and part melted in his hair. "You stupid lout," said his mother. "You should have carried it very carefully in your hands." "I'll do so another time," replied Jack. The day after this Jack again went out, and hired himself to a baker, who would give him nothing for his work but a large tom cat. Jack took the cat, and began carrying it very carefully in his hands, but in a short time Pussy scratched him so much that he was compelled to let it go. When he got home his mother said to him, "You silly fellow, you should have tied it with a string and dragged it along after you." "I'll do so another time," said Jack. The next day Jack hired himself to a butcher, who rewarded his labours with a handsome present of a shoulder of mutton. Jack took the mutton, tied it to a string, and trailed it along after him in the dirt, so that by the time he got home the meat was completely spoilt. His mother was this time quite out of patience with him, for the next day was Sunday, and she was obliged to content herself with cabbage for her dinner. "You ninny hammer," said she to her son, "you should have carried it on your shoulder." "I'll do so another time," replied Jack. On the Monday, Jack went once more, and hired himself to a cattle keeper, who gave him a donkey for his trouble. Although Jack was very strong, he found some difficulty in hoisting the donkey on his shoulders, but at last he managed it, and began walking home with his prize. Now, it happened that in the course of this journey there lived a rich man with his only daughter, a beautiful girl, but unfortunately deaf and dumb. She had never laughed in her life, and the doctor said she would never recover till somebody made her laugh. Many tried without success, and at last the father, in despair, offered to marry her to the first man who could make her laugh. This young lady happened to be looking out of the window when Jack was passing with the donkey on his shoulders, the legs sticking up in the air, and the sight was so comical and strange that she burst out into a great fit of laughter, and immediately recovered her speech and hearing. Her father was overjoyed, and fulfilled his promise by marrying her to Jack, who was thus made a rich man for life. They lived in a large house, and Jack's mother lived with them, in great happiness until she died.
Every birdie has a song to sing. Every birdie has a song to sing. You hear it singing all day long, for a birdie has to sing his song. Every birdie has a song to sing. And every baby has a song to sing. Every baby has a song to sing. And though it won't have any words, it's the sweetest song you've ever heard. Every baby has a song to sing. Every mother has a song to sing. Every mother has a song to sing. A song for singing when it's light, and a lullaby to sing at night. Every mother has a song to sing. Every daddy has a song to sing. Every daddy has a song to sing. You hear him holler out a song, or humming quietly along. Every daddy has a song to sing. Every grandma has a song to sing. Every grandma has a song to sing. And when she sings her song to you, then it becomes your song too. Every grandma has a song to sing. Every grandpa has a song to sing. Every grandpa has a song to sing. A song of happiness or strife, the song he's carried all his life. Every grandpa has a song to sing. Everybody has a song to sing. Everybody has a song to sing. And when we're singing the same song, you know we just can't do it wrong. Everybody has a song to sing. And when we're singing the same song, you know we just can't do it wrong. Everybody has a song to sing. Everybody has a song to sing. Round and around the sun we go in our solar system. Round and around the sun we go in our solar system. It's an easy thing to do. Round and around the sun we go in our solar system. Round and around the sun we go in our solar system. Mercury's closest to the sun. sun we go. In our solar system, round and around the sun we go. In our solar system, we all thought until recently that Pluto was a planet too. Now scientists say it's just too small and its gravity will not do. Round and around the sun we go. In our solar system, round and around the sun we go. In our solar system, in our solar system, in our solar system.
And we've got time to play another audiobook. Another story, and I think some heads are going to get chopped off again. In this story, let's find out. This one's called The Giant of St. Michael's.
The Giant of St. Michael's. When King Arthur was king of this realm, it befell at one time that he departed and entered into the sea at Sandwich with all his army, with a great multitude of ships, galleys, and dromons sailing on the sea. And as the king lay in his cabin in the ship, he fell in a slumbering, and dreamed a marvellous dream. It seemed that a dreadful dragon did drown much of his people, and he came flying out of the west, and his head was enamelled with azure, and his shoulders shone as gold. His body like mails of a marvellous hue, his tail full of tatters, his feet full of fine sable, and his claws like fine gold. And an hideous flame of fire flew out of his mouth, like as the land and water had flamed all of fire. After him there came out of the Orient a grimly boar, all black, sailing in a cloud, and his paws as big as a post. He was rugged-looking, roughly. He was the foulest beast that ever man saw. He roared and roamed so hideously that it was marvel to hear. Then the dreadful dragon advanced him, and came in the wind like a falcon, giving great strokes on the boar. And the boar hit him again with his grisly tusks, that his breast was all bloody, and that the hot blood made all the sea red of his blood. Then the dragon flew away, all on an height, and came down with such a suave, and smote the boar on the ridge, which was 10 foot large from the foot to the tail, and smote the boar all to powder, both flesh and bones, that it flittered all abroad on the sea. And therewith the king awoke anon, and was sore abashed of his dream, and sent anon for a wise man, commanding to tell him the meaning of his dream. Sir, said the wise man, the dragon that thou dreamst of betokeneth thine own person that sailst here, and the colour of his wings be thy realms thou that hast won, and his tail, which is all to tattered, signifieth the noble knights of the Round Table. And the boar that the dragon slew coming from the clouds either betokeneth some tyrant that tormenteth the people, or else that thou art like to fight with some giant thyself, being horrible and abominable, whose peer ye never saw in your days. Wherefore of this dreadful dream doubt thee nothing, but as a conqueror come forth thyself. Then after this they soon had sight of land, and when they were there, a husbandman of that country came, and told him there is a great giant, which had slain, murdered, and devoured much people of the country, and had been sustained 7 years with the children of the commons of that land, insomuch that all the children be all slain and destroyed. And now, late, said this countryman, he hath taken the Duchess of Brittany as she rode with her train, and hath led her to his lodgings, which is in a mountain, for to keep her to her life's end. And many people followed her, more than 500, but all they might not rescue her, but they left her shrieking and crying lamentably, wherefore I suppose he hath slain her. Now, as thou art a rightful king, have pity on this lady, and revenge us all as thou art a noble conqueror. Alas, said King Arthur, "this is a great mischief. I had rather than the best realm that I have that I had been a furlong way tofore him, for to have rescued that lady. Canst thou bring me where this giant haunteth?" "Yea, sir," said the good man. "Lo, yonder, whereas thou seest those two great fires, there thou shalt find him, and more treasure than I suppose is in all France." When the king had understood this piteous case, he returned into his tent. Then he called unto him Sir Kay and Sir Bedivere, and commanded them secretly to make ready horse and harness for himself and them twain. For after evensong he would ride on pilgrimage with them two only unto St. Michael's Mount. And then anon he made ready, and armed him at all points, and took his horse and his shield. And so they three departed thence, and rode forth as fast as ever they might, till that they came unto the foot of the mount. And there they alighted, and the king commanded them to tarry there, for he would himself go up into that mount. And so he ascended up into that hill, till he came to a great fire, and there he found a careful widow, wringing her hands, and making great sorrow, sitting by a grave new made. King Arthur saluted her, and demanded of her wherefore she made such lamentation. To whom she answered and said, "Sir knight, speak soft, for yonder is a demon. If he hear thee speak, he will come and destroy thee. I hold thee unhappy. What dost thou here in this mountain? For if ye were such 50 as ye be, ye were not able to make resistance against this devil. Here lieth a duchess dead, the which was the fairest of all the world, wife to Sir Howell, Duke of Brittany. He hath murdered her." "Dame," said the king, "I come from the noble conqueror King Arthur, for to treat with that tyrant for his liege people." "Fie upon such treaties," said the widow. "He setteth not by the king, nor by no man else. Beware, approach him not too nigh, for he hath vanquished 15 kings, and hath made him a coat full of precious stones, embroidered with their beards, which they sent him to have his love for salvation of their people at this last Christmas. And, if thou wilt, speak with him at yonder great fire at supper." "Well," said Arthur, "I will accomplish my message for all your fearful words." And he went forth by the crest of that hill, and saw where the giant sat at supper, gnawing on the limb of a man, baking his broad limbs by the fire, and 3 fair damsels turning 3 spits, whereon were broached 12 young children, like young birds. When King Arthur beheld that piteous sight, he had great compassion on them, so that his heart bled for sorrow, and hailed him, saying in this wise, "He that all the world wieldeth, give thee short life and shameful death. Why hast thou murdered these young innocent children, and murdered this duchess? Therefore arise and dress thee, thou glutton, for this day shalt thou die of my hand." Then the glutton anon started up, and took a great club in his hand, and smote at the king that his coronal fell to the ground. And the king hit the giant again, and carved his body till his blood fell down in 2 streams. Then the giant threw away his club, and caught the king in his arms, that he crushed his ribs. Then the 3 maidens kneeled down, and called to Christ for help and comfort of Arthur. Then Arthur weltered, and wrestled with the giant that he was other while under, and another time above. And so weltering and wallowing, they rolled down the hill till they came to the sea mark, and ever as they so weltered, Arthur smote him with his dagger, and it fortuned they came to the place where as the 2 knights were that kept Arthur's horse. Then, when they saw the king fast in the giant's arms, they came and loosed him. And then the king commanded Sir Kay to smite off the giant's head, and to set it upon a truncheon of a spear, and bear it to Sir Howell, and tell him that his enemy was slain. "After this," said the king, "let his head be bound to a barbican, that all people may see and behold it. And go ye 2 up to the mountain, and fetch me my shield, my sword, and a club of iron. And as for the treasure, take ye it, for ye shall find there goods out of number. So I have the kirtle and the club, I desire no more. This was the fiercest giant that ever I met with, save one in the Mount of Arabe, which I overcame, but this was greater. Then the kings fetched the club and the kirtle, and some of the treasure they took to themselves, and returned again to the host. And anon this was known through all the country, wherefore the people came and thanked the king. And he said again, Give the thanks to God, and part the goods among you. And after that King Arthur said and commanded his cousin Howell that he should ordain for a church to be builded on the same hill in the worship of Saint Michael.
Those naughty giants again! Oh my goodness. Gotta get rid of them. We have come up to the end of another half hour of the best radio show for young children here on Revolution.radio, Secret Kindergarten. Thanks for listening. I love you. Bye.